Hi there, my name's Claire Jones. I'm a vet from Stoc Vets in North Wales, and I'm here today to talk to you a little bit about diagnostic testing in your ewes over the winter and early spring months to investigate causes of poor performance and also to make sure your ewes are performing as efficiently as they can over the second and third trimester of pregnancy. So some examples of some tests you might like to consider doing with your vet include things like fecal egg counting for parasite control, making sure those ewes aren't struggling with a fluke or a worm burden over the winter months, and obviously going into lambing time to making sure that they're not struggling with chronic fluke, which can really hamper their performance, and also to make sure that the worm burden is well controlled going into lambing time to make sure that the pasture levels are low for those lambs that are going to start grazing in the spring. If you're scanning your ewes pre-lambing time, then you can work out your barren rate, and if it's more than 3 to 4%, you might like to think about investigating. Your vet can give you some advice about some blood samples we can do to investigate the causes of infectious abortion and early embryonic loss in your flock. If this is diagnosed, you can then work with your vet to put in place a control plan and a vaccination plan for the following year. If your ewes are housed pre-lambing time and you're feeding them, then in the last 2 to 3 weeks of pregnancy, you might like to consider something called metabolic profiling. This involves taking blood samples from ewes of a range of twins and singles and triplets to make sure that their energy demands are being met by their diet. So this involves looking at energy and protein levels along with a few other things, and this allows us as vets to advise you whether or not the diet is meeting their needs in the last stage of the pregnancy. This will give us an idea of whether the ewes are going to be able to give birth okay without having any metabolic problems, and also gives us an idea of whether the lambs are going to have lots of vigour and that the ewes are going to have good quality colostrum and milk for that coming lactation. So speak to your vet about some diagnostic testing you'd like to do. If you're with the Stoc Plus project with HCC, then there is the opportunity to use some diagnostic budget to help with some of this testing. So speak to your vet and make a plan.